Okay, let's take a look at the digestive system now. So there are basically three roles of the digestive system. The first one is to take in food and break it down into smaller pieces. The second role is to take those smaller pieces and break them down even further, thereby releasing and making available nutrients like amino acids, like simple carbs, nucleic acids, okay? And then a third role of the digestive system is to take those nutrients and absorb them from the digestive system into the bloodstream and make them available for the rest of the body. So the digestive system is broken up into two main, branches you'd call it, or two main components. The first one is what we call the alimentary canal, and it's basically your food tube. It goes from your mouth all the way down to your anus. The second component are what we call accessory organs, and we'll take a look at them. Those accessory organs are like the liver and the gallbladder and the pancreas, like helper organs. It doesn't mean that they're not important because they are crucial, but they're classified as accessory organs. So the alimentary canal is another word that we use or term that we use for the food tube. It starts off here in the mouth and then continues on to the esophagus, and then continues to the stomach, and then the food moves to the small intestine, which has three regions, and then the small intestine then moves to the large intestine, and the large intestine goes up the right side of the body, across to the left, and then down the left side, and you end up in the rectum, and then out the anus. So that's the alimentary canal. Different processes happen in different portions or different regions of the alimentary canal, such as chewing. Chewing only occurs in the mouth. And those processes can be further broken down into what we call mechanical and chemical digestion. Mechanical digestion is the breaking down of food physically into smaller pieces. So like chewing, tearing apart with your teeth, your tongue. As well as there's mechanical digestion that happens in your stomach and in your small intestines, even though you don't have teeth in your stomach or small intestines. The second kind of digestion is chemical digestion, and that's using enzymes and acids to break down the food even further. Okay? Now, it's important to note that the rest of the body systems also work with the digestive system to complete its tasks. Like, for example, the cardiovascular system. Your digestive system is made up of cells, tissues, organs. They need their own blood flow. So the cardiovascular system helps in that it provides your mouth, your esophagus, your stomach, your intestines, etc., with a fresh supply of blood, high in oxygen and nutrients. So therefore, your alimentary canal can actually function. The second job of the cardiovascular system is to take those processed nutrients at the end of the digestive processes and distribute them throughout the body. Another example that you might not think about is the skin, the integumentary system. The integumentary system works with the digestive system, especially for calcium absorption. So for instance, when you drink a glass of milk or you eat a yogurt, anything that has calcium, and actually, now we're talking about it, for example, spinach has a lot more calcium in it per pound than milk. So when we think calcium, we always think about dairy, myself included. But actually, green leafy vegetables are very high in calcium. So anyhow, you can eat as much spinach as you want, but that you cannot absorb the calcium from the intestines into the bloodstream without something called vitamin D. And you can't get vitamin D. Well, there are a couple ways you can get vitamin D. I'll take that back. One of the main ways and the easiest way to get vitamin D is to simply go outside for a couple minutes a day. And what happens is that your skin helps with the production of vitamin D because it gets hit with sunlight. So going outside, getting a little bit of sunlight for a couple minutes a day will produce vitamin D, which then travels down to your intestines and helps absorb calcium. Another system that helps is the muscular system. We think of the muscular system as biceps, triceps, quads, etc. Well, there are three kinds of muscles. There's the skeletal muscles that we're used to, the cardiac muscle, which is your heart, and then lastly, smooth muscle. Smooth muscle, we really don't think about it much because it's automatic, it's involuntary, you have no control over it. Well, that's how the food moves from your mouth down to your anus, using smooth muscle that pushes food in a variety of ways from point A down to point B. Okay? And lastly, here's a fourth example, the respiratory system. So the respiratory system, all these cells in your intestines and your stomach and your alimentary canal, remember the alimentary canal is your food tube from mouth to rectum, all those organs are doing cellular respiration, and they need a good flow of oxygen and a good flow of glucose to do cellular respiration to do what they need to do. So the respiratory system helps provide oxygenated blood and helps get rid of the CO2.